What's going on? Hope everybody having a good day. Today is March 26, 2014. And what I'm going to talk about today is pretty serious. A lot of my topics I try to keep, a little bit serious and a little bit funny or comical. But I think this topic here probably has more influence on everybody than anything I probably talked about so far. But early today, I posted a quote on Instagram by Gentlemanhood, and it says, "Strong women desire men who are strong enough to stay faithful. Faithfulness isn't a burden; it's a privilege and an honor to be a man of integrity." Now, when I look at that, I'm saying, okay, well, being a man of integrity, what do you gain from that? And if you don't have a woman of class, what does it really matter? Because if you are a man of integrity, but the women don't really recognize you or they don't know how to respond, how do you go about, finding the woman that you're supposed to have? But the focus really is on women of class. And today, I think one of the biggest issues is the way women carry themselves. Now, I think this topic is kind of like on the sense of talking about how religion goes, but with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and all these different things, pictures and videos have become the main thing. And now I understand that women have this sense of wanting to be accepted and things like that, and different security levels with themselves. So, and that's good. But I feel like, okay, if you want to be considered or just even looked at as a woman of class, how do you go about doing it? Because you can go read a book such as Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, but what truly is that going to do for you as a woman? Because thinking like a man won't teach you how to be a woman. And nowadays, I understand women are changing and they're saying, okay, we love being independent, and that's great. All women should, in a sense, be independent, but you not at the expense or at the cost of you being a woman and understanding what it is to be a woman. I mean, first and foremost, women are supposed to nurture. And that don't necessarily have to be a man, but there's a lot of women out here today that have kids. And although you say, okay, well, I don't need a man to know how to nurture my own child, but where does it come into effect that, all right, the way you present yourself on these different social media sites, if your son or your daughter has to grow up and they have to see their mom in this light, how would that make them feel? Because we all have moms, we all have grandmothers. If we were to look at our grandmothers and our mothers today and say, well, was that you, on, Facebook, on Instagram, half naked in clubs? I mean, it's like, you got to kind of look at that and say, okay, well, if you have to answer all these questions at some point in time in your life, how would you be able to respond? So, and then you take it to an extent and say, all right, what about the men out here that are looking for good women? But because of how you portray yourself, he can only take you one way. He's saying, okay, well, that's great that, you're comfortable with your body, but does it mean you have to expose yourself? Now, I'm big on art. I love photography. I love creativity. And I feel like, it's a way for a woman to show herself without being so, I guess, revealing. Because when it boils down to it, if you're the type of woman to put, your breast, your ass out on social media, what is that really going to do for you? Because now the only thing a person is going to look at you for is that your body parts. That's it. Or you're either good enough to go on a club flyer or something like that. So I'm saying, okay, if that's the case, and that's all you really have to say for yourself, if you were stripped of those physical characteristics, would you be able to survive? And I don't think a lot of women ask themselves these questions today. Like, they ask saying, okay, I want a good man, I want all this, but you say, well, there's a shortage of good men, and the truth is there's not a shortage of good men. We only respond based upon how women carry themselves. So if you got more women carrying themselves as, I want to be the next top model, I want to put myself out there this way, and don't have any class or respect for themselves, you're not going to have a lot of men that even care about a woman of class. So now, when you start to get with these guys, they going to look at you and say, hey, you know what? You're not the type of female that I want to take home. You're not the type of female that I want to marry. So even though this man may spend a lot of time with you, you still won't get, the ring, or you may get certain materials. You may get the cars and all this stuff, but I don't know any woman out here today that can sit there truly and say they don't want to be married, or they don't want to have kids, and they don't want to be in a stable relationship. But the problem is just nobody is telling a woman that, hey, learn how to be a woman first. How can you learn how to be a woman by degrading yourself that way? By putting yourself out there, just because all of a sudden you get to be on the cover of a magazine or a flyer, And that's all you're going to be known for. You're not going to be known because you're smart, you're intelligent. You're not going to be known because you have all these great qualities about you. The first thing a man is going to look at you and say, well, you know what, yeah, I seen you in that magazine. I saw you on the club flyer. What's up? That's it. And then, let's say your son or your daughter grow up, if you got kids, and they have to turn back and they have to look at that, and let's say their friends see it, they like, oh, that's your mom. It's like, now you painting yourself, and you putting your name out there as far as saying, you know what, I don't care what my kids think, I don't care what my future generation thinks, it's just about me. And that's a problem because, you seeing this high divorce rate. Why is that? Why is it that this generation has the highest divorce rate out of any of them? It's not because women want to be independent. It's just because women don't understand how to be women anymore. Therefore, men can't be men. We only go off of how a woman acts. If we're forced to go about a standard and say, you know what, the only way I'm going to be able to do this, or if the only way I'm going to be able to have this woman is I got to step my game up, I got to go out here and I got to get a job, I got to go out here, I got to make sure I present myself well. A man will do whatever he can, whatever he has to do to make sure that he has the woman that he wants, period. But if all you do is present yourself in a club, all over Instagram, Facebook, with, half naked, you're easily replaced. That means that the next person in line that's doing that, he can get him. Because he's done it once, why couldn't he do it again? He can care less about what your qualities are and everything else, because that's not the first thing that came to his mind. It's not what he saw to begin with. And the truth is, yes, it's a way to present yourself as a woman without having to show everything. You can present yourself with class. It's all about how you choose to go about it. Yes, I understand, a lot of women out here making money off of these certain things, and okay. But still, is that little bit of money or that small price that you getting from showing yourself worth, you having to clear your name from when your son or daughter has to, respond to people at school when they grow up, or having to clear your name, let's say you get out in the media and all the different type of stuff, your name is everything. And for women, especially now, you got all of these powerful women figures out here that, have strived to just make sure that y'all have what y'all want to have to be equal, especially in the workplace, or even with men. But why would you rather just put yourself out there like a piece of meat just to get attention, when the truth is they don't take all of that? First, be secure enough in yourself as a woman to understand and learn how to be a woman first. And more than likely, you're going to attract the right men. Or a man is going to be forced to say, you know what, I got to step my game up. I can't go out here and I can't just do the bare minimum to gain this woman. and then the next woman in line follows suit. So, I'm more than likely, if you are the type that feel like you have to do all of this stuff for the attention, just ask yourself, is it worth it in the long run?